guys, what is up? AwesomeTheSauce here. Hope you guys are having a great day. And today we have a crazy video talking about something insane that happened yesterday. There was a Wizard101 dev account that got hacked, and there were announcements being put all over the place saying all kinds of things that have never been said before. We're talking about profanity, we're talking about comments like the ones you see on the screen right now. But this caused a lot of chaos, y'all. Basically, what I guess really happened is an account got compromised that had the ability to send out messages and announcements like this to a large group of people through the game. And after it got compromised, because of the types of things that they were saying, because it was actually clearly bad, and just because I feel like it was an account security thing, the actual Wizard101 servers went down for 3.5 hours last night. I wanted to make a video talking about the fallout of this whole event. I wanted to talk about exactly everything that we know about the thing, and I want to open the door for y'all to talk about it in the comment section, because there's a lot to talk about today. So let's talk about first how these messages could have actually come about to begin with, because I think this answers a lot of questions about people's who have, you know, a lot of people have questions about the security of their own accounts. Basically, right, these announcements that you actually saw those pictures of earlier in this video already, like those announcements, some accounts on Wiz have permissions to send those. Now, you may or may not have seen these. Basically, sometimes they do this, especially when the KI live is happening and there's like a beast moon situation happening. But basically, they could make like an announcement that everyone in the game sees, and only some accounts, I guess, have the permissions to do this. And when they make that announcement, basically they can coordinate community events. Like if they're doing a KI live or they're doing Beast Moon, they can encourage people to join the Beast Moon queue. I really haven't seen them use this that often, which is why it's actually crazy to me that the one time a Wiz dev account gets hacked, that this is the way they decide to spread their chaos. So this should answer the question of whether your account itself is in danger. I really don't think this was like a data breach or anything of that nature. I think it's literally like someone getting access, like username and password, to an account through the normal Wiz launcher, but it was a dev account, so they have extra permissions and they can do all kinds of crazy stuff. It's not as bad when you think about it like that. Obviously, still pretty crazy for a company to not have extra security measures to the point where this is even possible to begin with. But I will say this, if this is the thing that makes them want to actually add stuff like two-factor authentication like so many other games, or if this is a type of thing that honestly just makes them want to add more security measures in general, maybe like an extra security question, anything of that nature, I feel like this is probably good. Because honestly, like, security is a really big deal when it comes to accounts this goddamn old. Like, if you get hacked and you lose a 10-year-old account, I feel like that's really awful, obviously for obvious reasons. But as time goes on, there's more and more time that people are putting into this game. You cannot have account safety be a thing on anyone's mind as being at risk. I think it's a huge problem for Wiz. Now, as far as who could have actually done this, now there was a lot of people making a lot of unsubstantiated claims. I'll be honest, there is gonna be no claim made in this video because I do not know the full facts. But there is a tweet that came out with a former KI employee, the legend Magnetic, but he was actually talking about how he's actually worked in other MMOs, and normally when someone did something nefarious like this, the authorities were contacted and the identity of the culprit was known very quickly. Now, he's a former KI employee. I assume that what he knows is what most KI employees know. So I think this prevailing theory that a lot of people have, which is that this was it wasn't a hack, that it was a KI employee that was just, I don't know, like ruffled up, I guess, because he or she did not like what was happening in the company. Like, people really thought this was someone quitting on a Friday night, and this is what they decided to do as like their last, like, I don't know, last stand type thing. But honestly, I really think that's unlikely, but just off of what Magnetic said and off of the fact that if there's legal ramifications and someone knows about this, there's no reason to do it at that point. I mean, you're literally not only basically just getting fired from your current job, but honestly, if you want a referral, if you want to transfer, if you want to get a new job, this will follow you. As far as the actual person did it, to me, what it screams to me, it's a Friday night. Someone was clearly bored. They weren't, you know, they didn't have any plans. They decided to do something with their time that was clearly unproductive. What I really hope is that if there are legal problems that come out of this, I really hope it's not like a young kid who just made a really stupid mistake and it's going to be a costly mistake as a result of that. I have a feeling for the legal reasons alone, we might never know the full story of what actually happened last night. But in my opinion, whether it's a child or like whether it's a minor or it's not a minor, I think it's an individual that made probably a little bit of a mistake that they didn't even realize they were making. I think from their eyes, they were just doing something perfectly harmless, which is just sending a bunch of messages. I'll be honest, I think if they'd avoided the profanity on some of these, I really don't even think this would have been a big deal, but it's a kid's game, and you're circumventing the TOS and the chat filters to say stuff, which has a lot of issues associated with it. That's not even to mention the fact that, you know, there's people paying membership, there's people that only play at the time that actually, that ended up, like, the downtime ended up being in. So it's a little crazy, right? I mean, you've caused probably actual money loss for King's Isle, you doing this. You've probably cost members actual time that they would have played doing this. And obviously, in my opinion, it's a harmless prank, but from a company standpoint, I really doubt they're gonna take it like that. And they're well within their rights. I feel like whatever comes out of this, they're really, it's not a King's Isle blame thing. It's really someone being very stupid in this scenario. I hope that this is something that people can laugh at the end of this. I really hope, but you never know when it comes to these things. And that's why you should avoid doing these things, even when you're in the position to do it and be a hilarious person, or maybe even take it too far. I don't know. Some people probably thought it was too far. Some people thought it was hilarious. Now, this whole incident has a lot of people talking, especially because of the 60K crowns message. People were talking about how they want, like, I guess, I don't know, compensation for the time that they lost. And on one hand, I actually think that's very legit. I feel like you've literally... I wasn't able to stream last night. I was just reacting to Wizard101 Reddit and Wizard101 Twitter. That's what I was doing all last night. I'll be honest, whatever this dude did kind of costed me playtime. I feel like, yeah, that makes sense. When you're like a paying member and you can't play for a whole day, that's kind of serious. So I feel like at the very least, they should give crowns players like, I don't know, 250 crowns so they can buy like an energy elixir, and members, I feel like they should extend their membership by a day. I don't know if they're allowed to do that, but I feel like that actually makes a lot of sense because yes, it's not their fault. But at the end of the day, because of maybe some account security thing that they did not take into account, basically now you have a bunch of people that lost a bunch of playtime on a day that they might have only been able to play. It's a Friday night. Some people only play on a Friday night. All in all, this is definitely a much less malicious thing than past attacks, I feel like, that have taken place. There's like been DDoS attacks where the literal server's been taken down. There's been all kinds of crazy things said through TOS, as in text chat, that have been, in my opinion, miles worse than whatever this is. Like, they had the freedom to say a lot, and yes, I do think they took it too far, but honestly, it could have been a lot worse. As far as damage control goes for KI, even though they probably won't be able to talk about it for legal problems, I still think they don't need to address it as much as they might have needed to, which honestly, maybe this is just a good thing for all of us so we can look past it and just laugh at it at the end of the day. I'm sure there's a lot of opinions on this, so let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that this is going to turn into a big legal dispute for the person that got involved in this to begin with? And do you think there should be compensation? I think that's something I've heard talked about more and more as this incident, like, more and more people know about it. And what do you guys think they should do in terms of actually securing accounts as a result of this? If there's ever a learning experience to be had, I really hope they had two-factor authentication. I really would love that. But I feel like those are the big questions surrounding this, so I would love to hear all of y'all weigh in. So make sure you drop a comment on this video. Make sure you drop a like. Drop a sub if you're new. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the videos. As always, if somebody has not told you you're awesome today, they doing something wrong. So stay awesome. And yeah.